What is up, guys? Bachman's Garage back at you again with another video on the 1998 YZ125. This is a 2019 update. It's not really a build, I would say. The bike has basically all the engine components and performance parts that it's had for a few seasons. I'm just doing a few little things to it to freshen it up, get it ready for the season, and make it a lot better and a little bit more competitive. You guys can probably see the new back tire. It's a Kenda Trackmaster 870 or 760, something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but I'll take you off the tripod, show you a few things that I've done to it, and hopefully this bike will perform a lot better than it did. It was mostly just lacking a little bit in the mid-range. It had a lot of top end, had a lot of bottom end, but through the mid it was really, I wouldn't say boggy, it was just not pulling as hard. I did a few things to maybe make it handle a little better, aesthetics, make it look a little bit better, and a couple little things that just kind of take the headaches out of the bike. It is, as of August 11th, it will be 21 years old. This bike has the exact same birthday that I do, which is weird, and we both share the same number. I have a tattoo, and it has 811, and the bike has number plates with 811 on it, so I just find that pretty cool that I have a bike that was assembled on the same day that I was born, the exact same day, month, and year. So I'll probably never sell this bike, or at least the frame at least, so that way I can always say that my VIN number is the exact same as my birthday. Can't remember the website I looked it up on, but it's a decoder for any VIN number on any motorcycle. As long as it's a certain amount or whatever, they can look up all the way to the day that it was assembled. It was assembled and basically ready for sale. So this bike was born the exact same day, month, and year that I was born. That's why it means so much to me. I guess it's more or less just a fate type of thing if you believe in that kind of stuff. But yeah, I will take you off the tripod and show you a few things that I've done to the bike. See you in a second. Okay, so starting off, we're gonna move to the back here. Is a Kenda Trackmaster. I don't see where it says it. K760. Yeah, it is a 190/19. We just put another tube in it because I pinch flatted the last one that I purchased like an idiot. I haven't done a tube in a while, and I was kind of rushing through it and basically lost 15 bucks on a tube, so I had to go get another one, which isn't bad. This one was actually a little more expensive. It was about 20 bucks because it's a thicker wall tube. I used to have a really dumb spacer in the back behind the foot pedal, and it's supposed to stop even with the peg, so I mean, it'll touch the case if it's above the foot peg, but I would never run a brake that high anyway, so I fixed that. I have to fix the clevis. It was so worn out that it had a lot of movement in here, and that's another reason why I don't think my back brakes worked as well. I completely disassembled the Kickstarter. It still has that notorious aluminum and steel contact wobble that all these kickers do. But yeah, I disassembled it, cleaned it, re-greased it, and reassembled it. I also moved it back a little bit. You can see where it was rubbing right here, so it doesn't rub there anymore, and the tip of it up here was rubbing on the pipe right here, so it only will rub a little bit back here. And I mean, it always touches no matter what, because this pipe is technically for a 1996, but they were all the same. It's just a couple slight bends in it and whatnot that are very subtle. I redid the spacer up here on this mount. This mount is going soon. It's sturdy enough to run for a little while, but I'm gonna have to get a new one. They're about $8. This one is basically brand new. It's one of the older ones I took off my blaster. It'll work for a while. I put new gaskets in the expansion chamber up in where it slides into the head, and this spring is new. This spring is the older one. At one time I replaced one spring, so then I had another spring sitting here. My overflow line for my radiator right here, I ran behind the guard and off to the side, so it's not interfering with any of the the fins or anything, and then I ran it a little bit more discreetly behind this line down to here, so it's a little bit less of an eyesore as it running right down the center of the frame and stuff. I polished up the pipe pretty good. It's got some wear and tear on it, but it still looks decent. This line right here shifted back slightly, so it was kind of a pain in the ass to get the gas tank on, so I just loosened this clamp here and spun it slightly. Got a new fuel line. This is trackside fuel line. You can get it at Cycle Gear. It's 1/4 inch. These nipples are technically a little bigger, but that's the outer diameter. The inner diameter is 1/4 inch, so it's a pain in the ass to get on, but it's tight enough that you don't have to put clamps on it. Like, this shit will not pop off. I did the Petcock rebuild kit. These 2 screws are new. The screws that hold it onto the gas tank are new, and then all the gaskets and stuff on the inside. I currently have a spray paint cap on here because I'm going to wash the bike soon. I made sure my shifter and everything was tight, sprockets tight. These are stock foot pegs. I might run a file on them or something, kind of sharpen them up, but they're in good shape, so that's no worries there. I put that chain slider on like last season at the end of the season, so it's basically brand new. I switched the rear sprocket to a 51. I had a 52 on there, so I'm thinking that might help me in my mid-range a little bit. This chain slider is shot. I gotta get one, but it should only take 2-3 days to get here, so that's not bad. I got a new Motion Pro clutch cable. My old one felt kind of crunchy. This one's nice and smooth. Disassembled my throttle assembly, cleaned out all the old bullshit that got in there from the past 2 seasons. I just kind of neglected the maintenance on this bike, so I just went through everything and made sure everything's good. So that's all good there. I have a plug in the expansion chamber because I'm going to wash it. I raised my or lowered my forks, I guess I should say. These were flush with the triple clamps, so this should hopefully keep my front end down. I took off the hole shot device because this bike doesn't really pick up on the hole shot for me. Never really had a problem with it. I took off the ring here because I wanted to put my fork guard sliders back on. So this piece is just on here. It don't weigh nothing, and it's not in the way. So that's that. I plugged the end of my axle right here with something called Thermosteel. It's basically JB Weld on crack. It actually they repair industrial furnaces and stuff like that. It literally welds steel to steel, or you can weld aluminum to steel with it. It's like JB Weld, it's just a little more extreme. I put a plug, like an oil plug, in the end of my axle, and then filled it with Thermosteel and filed it down, just so stuff doesn't get in my axle and corrode it, because this side had a screw in it, has a screw in it for the plastic guard. So it was getting a lot of dirt and stuff in there, so I figured I might as well add 1/2 ounce of steel to the weight of the bike to keep it a little bit fresher. The brake line clamp that goes here and the one that holds this plastic piece to this triple clamp here, I'm currently stripping the paint off. It was old paint, it's really ugly. I'm gonna just repaint it black. I have the rear subframe hanging over there and the chain. The chain is currently soaking in oil. It only had a few rides on that chain, but it had a little bit of corrosion, so I cleaned it up and then sprayed it with oil, and then I sprayed it with oil again. The subframe is going to be painted black. It was just really ugly. Just wanted to clean it up a little bit. So that's that. Cleaned up the inside of the airbox, put a new Pro filter in there. Pro filter's all good. I have that covered just so dust and stuff doesn't get on it. There's my old tire. And then there's the 2 brake clamp parts, and then I have the other one over here that is completely stripped. I gotta clean it off and then throw some primer on it. And that's that for that. And then lastly, my silencer. I took off the sticker and everything, polished the chrome the best I could. This back side of it was so corroded, I just sanded off what I could and then just sprayed some silver heat enamel exhaust or engine block paint. It doesn't hold up the greatest, but it should, because this won't get as hot as the expansion chamber. Did the same thing over here. That was chrome. It looks good enough for me. It is a genuine FMF pipe. I just repacked it, and it should be probably a little quieter, but I used a lot more packing than it comes with stock, so I don't think it'll be too tight. It'll either be really loud because it won't hit the packing at all, or it'll be really quiet because it's hitting all of it. So I don't know. But yeah, I cleaned it up, and that's ready for that. This is the Power Core canister, which is the same size as a Shorty, so I don't know exactly what makes it a Power Core. But they have all their engineering and stuff pretty much figured out. I'll give you a close-up. I primered this subframe a few days ago. I'm just letting it warm up in the sun so I can put another coat of primer on it. This is black primer. I'm going to do the gray primer, and then I'm going to put coats of black on it. You can see the chains just got a little bit of residue and stuff on it. I just sprayed it with PJ1 Black Label chain lube. Yesterday I sprayed it with a penetrating fluid to get in all the links, and the day before that I used carb cleaner and a brass brush to knock off all the heavy stuff. So, but yeah, I'm gonna go put the bike up on the stand in the driveway, spray it with Purple Power, scrub it a little bit, wash it off the pressure washer, and then hopefully get to reassembling it here soon, so then we can put out part 3 of it completely reassembled. I got all my race numbers on the number plates, so those are ready. They're upstairs. I just got the seat cover. The seat cover is on already. That's ready to be thrown on. I'm waiting for the front fender. Front fender will either be here today or tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, I believe. Yeah. So one thing I also might have left out was the vent line on the gas cap that goes in front of the handlebars is the same as the fuel line. It's polyurethane line. It's chemical resistant, so it's good for fuel line, vent line, or oil line, depending on temperature. So yeah, I'm also sending the shock out to 317 Moto. I think they're out in Chambersburg. Hopefully they can get my shock done somewhat quickly, and I don't really want to spend any more than $300. I think they said they can do that. So check out 317 Moto if you want any suspension, engine work, any kind of anything for a dirt bike, motorcycle. I believe they do three-wheelers, four-wheelers, UTVs. I'm not exactly sure. This will be the first time I'm going to them, but I've heard very good things about them. So check out 317 Moto on I think they have a Facebook page, and they're on Google if you type them in on Google. So, alright guys, I'll catch you guys later on the third one. Peace.